It's a Friday doubleheader in the Stanley Cup playoffs on the ice, and Jo Madden joins us for a second consecutive segment to break it all down. Joe, let's dive right in. We changed venue for the first time in the second round series between the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. To Beantown we go on this Friday. The Bees won game number 1, 5-1. Florida responded in game number 2, 6-1, with a ton of fights and penalty minutes and some bad blood between these two sides. For game number 3 tonight inside TD Garden, a minus 125 moneyline favored number on Florida. The road team favored tonight in Boston, a total at 5.5. What do you expect for game number 3 tonight in Beantown?
I was actually really shocked when I first saw this line for the Boston Bruins being the underdog at home, because we know all season long the books love to make them the favorite, especially at home. And I do think that plus money is attractive on Boston. But the biggest question mark for me is, which Florida Panthers team will we see? Will we see the Florida Panthers team in game 1 that was a little rusty, or will it be the team in game 2 that just came out flying on the ice, able to dominate? And that's the team I really do think we get. So digging more into the lines at minus 125, I do think the Florida Panthers are the right side in this one. I don't think the Boston Bruins are going to go away quietly. I do think they have an opportunity to win one of these games at home, but I think Florida, with the momentum that we saw in the last game, will come with that momentum again in this one. Now, an interesting bet I did find over on FanDuel was the goal in the first 10 minutes. And normally, you guys, this is really juiced. It's only minus 134 for the goal in the first 10 minutes of the first period here, which I was shocked by, because that's normally a minus 190. Now, the Florida Panthers will want to get off to a hot start. And I look at how many penalties there was between both of these teams. Both of these teams are going to have power play opportunities in that first 10 minutes. So I love that goal in the first 10 minutes here.
That last game that we watched here, a couple different things I want to ask you, Joe. Number one, Swayman has been tremendous throughout this playoff run so far, but he got blown away a little bit in the previous game. Does he bounce back in this environment? And also, we saw that bad blood spill out late in that game with a 5-goal lead with multiple guys and basically 5-on-5 fighting. How does that pertain to this game in Boston? And also, do you think Swayman bounces back?
Okay, question mark for me is, will it be Swayman hitting the ice, or will they go to Ullmark? Now, in that last game, Ullmark came out and he took 10 shots on goal. He allowed 2 goals in there. So who are they going to go to? It's the biggest question mark for me. With that goaltender uncertainty, it really does push me more to the Florida Panthers. And you talk about that bad blood. These two teams don't like each other at all. Brad Marchand out there on the ice, he is so heated. He's going to get in that box so much. I expect these two teams to drop the gloves pretty quick versus each other. You talked about all 5 of these guys fighting on the ice. We're going to see more of that tonight. This is going to be a very physical game out there. If you're looking for players to score a goal, look for those power play goals, unless it's Brad Marchand. I'm not taking him for anything, because if he's going to be in the box way too much tonight. But those power play goals are coming. We know in the regular season and during the playoffs, Sam Reinhart's been absolutely phenomenal on the power play for the Florida Panthers. So I do have him circled tonight.
Interesting stuff all the way through. I can't wait to see how this actually plays out, Joe, because I love to see that momentum swing. And we know in Boston, yes, they're worried about the Celtics, but also their beloved Bruins. Let's take a look at a doubleheader tonight. Also, Edmonton and Vancouver. If we're lining this game up, FanDuel overnight, Joe, priced this at a minus 146 here for the Edmonton Oilers. That has now dropped down to a minus 130, and a total that we all love here in Edmonton games. 6.5 for a playoff game. What are we looking at tonight between Edmonton and Vancouver?
Well, I can't take this one to the under. I really do think this will be a higher scoring battle. Again, we saw game 1 finish 5-4, and both of these teams really putting their heart into it. Everyone that went to sleep in that second period, seeing Edmonton up in that game, saw Vancouver was completely done. Vancouver's ability to fight back and never give up in these games is second to none. We saw it in the regular season. We're seeing it in the playoffs here. And I do expect Edmonton to get off to another fast start, but there's question marks on if Leon Draisaitl will be out there on the ice tonight. Without him out there on the ice, I can't back the Edmonton Oilers, even at this price. I think Vancouver at home is still being disrespected here, and I will be jumping on them. But I do think Edmonton first period, I expect the best out of them in that first period. You can hit them up on the money line or even the puck line laying the half a goal in the first period gets some plus money, because I do think they come out extremely strong right out of the gate. And just like they did in game one, they love to come out and play what I love to call punch in the mouth kind of hockey, where they come out, they get that goal, and then they try to protect that lead. But without Leon Draisaitl on the ice, this is going to be a battle for them, because we saw that momentum shift when he left the ice in the last game. And I think this injury is bigger than they're really saying, because Leon Draisaitl has never looked like that sitting on the bench. He tried to come back out on the ice. He looked bad. He did make it back out on the third period, but I think there's something really going on. And be careful with Connor McDavid tonight, because he was held to 0 shots even on goal in game one. The Vancouver Canucks defensively are just limiting him completely on the ice.
Edmonton was up 4-1 in the final 7 minutes of that second period, and then the Canucks scored 4 unanswered to win game number 1, 5-4. We expected this series, at least from the odds perspective, to be a pretty easy ride for Edmonton. Was not the case. I think Donnie cut my Wi-Fi, by the way, as I was about to bag on Jeremy Swayman, who is DRS's guy, Joe, in the idea that Linus Ullmark could play tonight for Boston. All of a sudden, I freeze and I'm out. One final minute here, Joe, in this segment with a refreshed listing of the Stanley Cup odds that sees the New York Rangers now as the favorite. 45 seconds left in this segment. Where do you think the value lies in the NHL's Final 8?
You look at it, the Florida Panthers are in second. There it will be the Rangers and the Florida Panthers that face each other. So between those two, I have to give the edge to the Rangers right now with how they're playing. That would be an epic matchup if we had it, though. Bobrovsky versus Igor Shesterkin. And then I think it comes down to the Avs and the Canucks. And when we're looking at the Avs and the Canucks, the values on the Canucks, can a Canadian team win the Cup? They absolutely could at plus 1,400 with the thought of Demko coming back. I like the value there.
A Canadian team has not won the Cup since 1993. 2 left standing, playing each other in this second round series. Jo Madden, we appreciate the time as always.